It's always a sad time for everyone involved. It's like losing a pet. And in a way where like you don't get confirmation of whatever happened to the pet. It's just you had dog now go away.
That's a terrible feeling. That's how it feels when your Podtoid get turned into actual video game chat.
I like to imagine that's the general feeling we cultivate on the show on a week by week basis.
Yeah.
Disappointment and regret.
Yeah.
My dog is gone. Like that.
Disappointed dog disappearance.
Oh, good times.
No, I tell you what's happened. Tragedy has struck.
No, really?
Tragedy has struck the world of Podtoid on a day that will live in infamy.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, and sorry, again with that. Ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else. There we go. See? Inclusive. Fuck's sake. Gotta stop it with the binaries. Because I'm socially aware. I've got a conscience. Unlike a certain someone.
Who?
Well, you loud dog, for one thing.
She's loud. Yeah, she gets worse when I do Podtoid, you know.
My faithful listeners and friends of Podtoid, I regret to inform you that Dave Boreanaz, a.k.a. Matt Borealis, a.k.a. Television's Angel, has blocked me on Twitter.
Oh my god, you've been acknowledged.
After a fashion.
Well, it's, you now know that he read at least one letter that you have typed in your life.
And, to be honest, then did the right thing.
He wasn't getting anything out of the exchange. I
don't know why. Right? He could have had everything. I offered him everything. Right now, like, before me, he's thinking, yeah, I'm Dave Boreanaz. I was Television's Angel, and now I am Television's Bones. And I've got a square head.
These are true facts, yeah.
Life couldn't be better. He could have said all that, or he could have said John, he could have said, I am David Boreanaz. I was the man who was Television's Angel. I am the man who is Television's Bones. And also, Jim Sterling is telling me on Twitter that I should be called Matt Borealis. And he can't say that anymore. He's deprived himself of the last thing he had left to want in life.
He could have won that. That could have been a little trophy in his mind.
I was nothing but nice and genial to him when I said weird things every day. He was correct to do what he did. I can't fight that. Hands up, fair enough. Like Jonathan said, I was one more man hurting him from a distance. But done with love. All my hurt is done with love.
I'm curious, though. I know about your love and what you do. Not that I don't want you to talk about it, but I urgently want to engage you in the conversation and ask you, what if he had said to you politely, can you please stop asking me to change my name? I like my name just the way it is. What's his name again? David or Matt? David.
David Boreanaz. He's not... I'm not even calling him Matt Borealis anymore. At least until I stop being undeservedly sore about this. Because I realise... I feel angry and hurt, but...
Really?
I know I shouldn't be. Because I know that in a court of law, and indeed anywhere, he is totally in the right. That said, if it was just me every few days asking him to be called Matt Borealis or telling him that I liked it when he punched a vampire in the arm and called it a stupid idiot in TV's Angel, I don't think I'd have been blocked. Not that I'm blaming everyone who saw me on Twitter and thought, that looks like fun, let's retweet him and pile in. And make fake accounts of Matt Borealis on Twitter and bother him with that.
They did do that, yeah. It's true.
Right? And I'm taking...
It may have contributed. That's what you're leading to here. That could have had an impact on this whole affair.
Let's not get it wrong. I'm taking full responsibility. And I am then, after having taken it, evenly distributing it among the Podtoid listeners.
Trickle-down blameonomics.
Yes.
But what if he had said, hey, you seem like a nice guy, can you just cut it out? Would you have cut it out at that point?
I'd have probably sent him a reply that said, oh my god, it's Television's Angel.
That's not that bad?
I would, here's my thing, and I told this to Aaron Greenberg when I kept posting pictures of him in bed with Playboy bunnies. Microsoft's Aaron Greenberg. I said this to Michael Pachter as well at PAX. All you gotta do, because I like to have fun all up on it, I like to have a joke and have an entertainment. I've told you this before as well, Jonathan. Tell me where the lines are. I won't cross them. Mm-hmm. And I like to feel that everything I do generally is a gentle goof. You know, I wasn't insulting Dave Boreanaz. I was just contriving an abstract situation for David Boreanaz. Because that makes the world laugh heartily. Ha ha ha, says the world. And just like when I call, Michael Pachter, when I call him Shiny Foot or Juicy Thighs or Turkey Child or anything like that. But Michael Pachter thought I was saying those things to be rude and mean at him. And then I saw him and said, no, it just makes me laugh. There's no malice. There's no ulterior motive. That's another thing. People assume there's a reason. Like when I called Destructoid's Chris Carter Lil Pumpy. There's no reason I call him Lil Pumpy. It just makes me laugh. And it makes me laugh even more when he sends me an email back saying, why are you calling me Lil Pumpy? And I say, yours is not to question, yours is just to pump. That doesn't mean anything. I mean nothing by it. It just makes me laugh. Because God help us all. In this recession, thanks Obama, we all need a laugh, Jonathan. I was hoping to bring a smile to Boreanaz's square head. But no. So, but like I said, I can't blame him, especially because, I've got nowhere near as many followers as him, but I've got enough to where if just a small fraction of them latch onto what I'm doing, it can become overwhelming for whoever it's being done towards. And I don't want to say I didn't consider that. I did consider it, and then I discarded it. I made a little compartment in my brain with a little door and a sign on the door that said, probably don't need to worry about this. Then I opened that door, and I put that thought in there, and then I locked the door, and then deadbolted it, and padlocked it, and I threw away the keys.
Well, much like Nintendo's recent exchange with the guys holding the EVO tournament this Saturday, it could have been turned to David Boreanaz. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Matt Borealis. It could have been turned to his... it could have been used to his advantage. He could have said to you and your tens of thousands of Twitter followers, hey, cut it out. And you could have been like, TV's Angel, and he could have been like, that's me, and then tweeted you a little My Little Pony gif of like a pony like giggling or eating an apple or something. And then you would have been like, oh my god! And then everyone who follows you would have been like, wow, that Matt Boreanaz is a heck of a guy. He can take a joke and set some boundaries without being mean about it. That would have worked only to gain him favor with thousands of people. But he didn't do that. And it's not a big loss, but certainly not a gain for him, the way he handled it.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
So instead, I'm just sat here feeling a tiny sliver of satisfaction, enveloped in massive amounts of shame in what I am and what I've become and where I'm definitely going to end up.
And your followers may now be mad at David Boreanaz.
A couple of them have been, and they shouldn't be, because again, philosophically, he was in the right. I was not contributing to his day. If I were Dave Boreanaz, it would have contributed to my day. But I'm not Dave Boreanaz. I didn't get that job. So...
Not yet. But, again, like with Nintendo, they blocked Evo from streaming Smash Brothers Melee, then saw that Melee, I'm sorry, I always mispronounced that. It makes people very annoyed. Then they saw that upset people, and then they unblocked Evo. So maybe after this podcast and all the Podtoy listeners putting out a petition for David Boreanaz to unblock you. They might. I don't know if they do that. They might do that.
That will just be pathetic.
No. And it gets signed by a few thousand people. It gets drawn to his attention again and again through people on Twitter.
He'd love that.
Then he may unblock you and acknowledge you and say, you are a man that I don't want you to do that anymore.
Yeah, but I found a new hobby, though, Jonathan.
Oh, all right. So you've already moved on.
I'm over it. I found a new, more productive way to spend my time.
Wow. What is it?
It's talking to Alexis Denisov, co-star of TV's Angel, on Twitter, asking him if he's ever considered changing his name to Matt Borealis.
Who is that? The guy who plays the demon or the little guy?
Alexis Denisov, husband to Alison Hannigan, star of television's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Alexis Denisov played in season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Wesley Wyndham-Pryce, and then moved over to television's Angel for the almost the entirety of its run, still playing Wesley Wyndham-Pryce. Former Watcher, rogue demon hunter, and a member of Angel Investigations.
Well, I don't know anything about these things.
And I've got a real good feeling I could get somewhere with this, because unlike David Boreanaz, who's got like 400,000 Twitter followers, Denisov has less followers than me.
Ooh. Could be, you could be hatching an egg pretty soon. An egg of love and collaboration with someone who is less famous.
Exactly.
What is his name? Wesley Willison?
Wesley Wyndham-Pryce. It's a character's name.
Oh.
He's Alexis Denisov. If I get in good with him, with the one, like, the least famous Joss Whedon collaborator, if I get in with him, then I can get in with the others. You know, I could go to a wine tasting party with Charisma Carpenter, or maybe even watch the curling championships, sat on the sofa next to Eliza Dushku.
Oh, Dushku. She's from Massachusetts. She lives, or her family lives, relatively close to me. I always think I'm going to bump into her. Her and that guy.
You know what
Seth
you?
MacFarlane.
Do you know what you shouldn't have told?
What?
Me that.
Why?
Because now he's just narrowed down the search parameters to finding your home.
It is all of Massachusetts we're talking about.
I want you to be my Eliza Dushku bloodhound. I want you on a leash, sniffing out Eliza Dushku, so that I can then walk past her and then, like, drop a bag of groceries. And then when she goes to help me pick them up, I go, "Oh, it's Eliza Dushku. Do you want to be friends?" And then she says, "Oh, do I?" And then we shake hands and we go off to the cinema to watch Star Trek Into Darkness.
It's been out for a couple of months.
It's not in cinemas anymore.
No, probably not. Not
probably Pacific Rim we'll go see.
Oh, yeah?
You know, Nachos, Eliza Dushku? No, thank you.
Full name? First and last name?
Yeah. No, thank you, grocery boy.
You haven't formally introduced yourself.
No. We shook hands and went straight to Pacific Rim. So Eliza Dushku, no, guy I just met. I do not want nachos. I hate them.
Whoa.
Fair enough. Cherry Coca-Cola. Yes. I enjoy Coca-Cola branded products. Order me a cherry Coca-Cola. Medium, please. I don't want to be a fucking greedy gut. You've got it, Eliza Dushku. I'll have a cherry cola Coca-Cola for Eliza Dushku, and I'll tell you what, Eliza, I'm feeling a bit cheeky. I'll have one of them myself as well. No, I won't drink out of yours. I'm not a fucking pig. 2, please. Good thinking, says Eliza Dushku. I know, says I. We put our arms around each other's shoulders like real good buddies, like war buddies, and we skip down to the ticket man and say, I want to go and see Pacific Rim with Eliza Dushku. And he says, have you bought a ticket? Eliza Dushku, we went straight to the Cherry Cokes and we didn't buy the tickets. Ah, shit. That's her. Oh, shit. Have you got any money for the tickets? No, Eliza Dushku. I spent all mine on the cherry colas and also the groceries that I bought to contrive a meeting with you. Shit. I just spent all mine on a Panini sticker album. The completed one off eBay. Lion King, if you must know. Fuck.
She was already sounding a little bit intense and angry just about the soda, about the cola. I don't know if you recall, but she looked at you and was just like, that would be fine. Like, whoa, what's the intensity level? Now that you guys are really in a bind, I guess that'll test your friendship.
Yeah.
Guess you'll really get to the bottom of how close your bond is.
I'll probably say that. I'll say, Eliza Dushku, we can't go see Pacific Rim because we bought too many cherry Coca-Colas. This is a real test of our friendship. And Eliza Dushku will say, don't worry. The bond of familiarity that we have will see us through any turmoil. Yes, it will, is what I say back. She says, let's step outside the movie theatre, sit on the sidewalk, and drink our cherry Coca-Colas. No, thank you, Eliza Dushku. It's too warm outside. Well, then I guess we will go our separate ways.
Friendship over?
Yes. It's been a relationship of ups and downs. Eliza Dushku, star of television's Buffy the Vampire Slayer and later Dollhouse. We each walk away with a golden smile in our heart.
What?
And a cherry Coca-Cola in a cup. Don't forget to recycle that cup, grocery man. Hey, I will if you will, Eliza Dushku. Let's pinky swear on it. I don't think so. I'm not a fucking remedial. Okay, Eliza Dushku, I see you've retained that sassy attitude you had when you played Faith the Vampire Slayer. Bye! Where's Jonathan?
And who said, where's Jonathan? You?
Me, because I just left you with the leash round. I tied you to a traffic cone or something. So that was my exciting day with Eliza Dushku. Everybody.
It's a future that could happen. It really could. She's a go-getter, from what I've been told, and is up for whatever.
It sounds like the sequel to Lost in Translation.
It's kind of dead, where Eliza Dushku is Bill Murray, and you are just a wayward beauty trying to figure out her life, showing up and befriending Hollywood talent. Not bad.
I want to be Eliza Dushku's wayward beauty.
And why not?
And why not?
I can't think of a reason why not.
So,
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, that's the latest in my efforts, my mounting efforts to get in with Whedon's gang. Because it's an influential and powerful group of people.
And
I want in at the ground floor.
I think they'd really take to you. I think Whedon specializes in creating characters that other people desperately want to be, while also feeling like they are relatable and accessible. They're not so incredible.
Well, if they're Whedon viewers, that's probably what they want to be, is relatable and accessible.
And Jim has a lot of experience in the same avenue with all of the work that he's been doing on you over the last 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Not me. There isn't. But, Podtoid is a thing. I was just thinking today about how people laugh at us a little bit on the show, but they also like us and would like to hang out with us, I think, for better or worse. It's sort of, like you said, we're in the Buffyverse. We give a Buffiness to people that want it in that way. There were some guys, in that way. Some guys were talking about how they listen to us as they go to bed every night. Like, every night I listen to a different Podtoid. Helps me just lull off to sleep. Just want the soothing tones of Jim going, Jonathan, your ass. I want to kiss it, stick something in it. This is what helps them get to sleep.
Yeah. It's probably what helps them design their very own event horizon as well.
Maybe, but people do the same thing with sitcoms, is my point. And Whedon is a master sitcomer. That he creates characters that you feel are real, but at the same time are just a little bit better than you think you are, so you aspire to be like them. That's you, Jim. That's what you do for the people.
One does what one can, Jonathan. One does what one can. I've tried to do a lot of things for you, Jonathan.
Sort of. I mean, you've talked about things.
As you well know.
Yeah.
I was on the toilet the other day doing a poo out of my bumhole. And I thought, what would really raise Jonathan's profile is if he just had a full roast chicken. Fully cooked, full roast chicken. And sat on buses and trains and just ate it.
I just ate it?
Just ate it in the chair, just looking at people while you do it. Slowly, like raising the full chicken to your mouth and then sinking your teeth in while maintaining eye contact with someone.
Oh, yeah. That's a chiller. That causes people to feel very threatened.
It'll raise your profile. That's what, the past few episodes we've been trying to crack you into Hollywood. Get you into show business and reclaim what was stolen from you at the end of MTV Road Rules Northern Trail.
What was that?
Your rightful place as the scion of American entertainment.
I've always been an acquired taste. I've never been a mainstream favorite. People have always thought, oh, that's the one that's not like the one that I can easily relate with. So I don't think that's ever going to change. I don't think eating roasted chicken on a bus and staring at a tired man trying to get home from work as I'm just, tearing into it and it's slurping and slamming. Eye contact in general really sends a message to people that they don't want. You can do a couple of seconds, let alone with chicken mouth at the same time, wet chicken mouth. Yeah, you can't do it to them. It hurts them.
Well, the great thing about just staring at someone, really an intense gaze, is that if you start it before they've observed that you're looking at them, they'll only look at you for a couple of seconds and make that eye contact, and then they'll look away because they're just totally uncomfortable. But if you keep going, they'll check, and they'll keep checking. And you can see the level of alarm and concern for you slowly rise with every passing return of the gaze.
And what's worse is, even when they look away, they're bound to see the chicken just raising and lowering in their peripheral vision.
Exactly.
Just this blurred shape of a man, just slowly with both hands, just up, head comes forward a bit, tearing the meat away, and lower the chicken.
We'll buy billboards. Every stop along the bus route. That just, it's just a photo of you.
Oh, no.
Chicken in mouth, eyes wide.
Whoa.
Hot Scoops Homes.
I thought about Hot Scoops.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Hot Scoops Homes says taste the chicken.
Oh, it's the anti-Whedon is what you're doing.
Eat my chicken, you son of a bitch. That'll be your favourite slogan. And that'll get you on Conan O'Brien.
It could, but not in a way. I wouldn't be paraded around as take a look at this guy. Don't you want to know him? Don't you want to be his friend? He's a little like you, but a little bit more clever. No, it'd just be, why wet chicken fingers, man? Stare at me. Why is he so impassioned as he eats the food? He's like a angry robot that impolitely uses his fingers to touch the meat. No good.
No. Conan O'Brien will come out and say, he's the man you've always wanted to meet.
I don't think so. I don't think he will.
He's turned heads and distressed passengers all over his hometown of Boston, and he's here tonight to eat chicken in the audience of Conan O'Brien. And then he'll just lock eyes with you, and then you've got him. Because for the whole episode of Conan, when he's trying to interview guests and tell his withering put-down jokes, and talk to a man who plays music for a second, you're there constantly in the audience, just raising the chicken, constantly looking at Conan O'Brien, blinking rarely, if at all. Might have to put some eye drops in you. Raise the chicken, head forward.
Oh, those sounds.
Tear off the meat. And this is the bit that really gets him. This is the bit that sends a chill down Conan O'Brien's spine. Lower the chicken. Because he knows that's the worst bit. Because it's like, this is the longest time between him not eating chicken and eating chicken. And it's the weight that does it. The not seeing you eat chicken is almost worse. In fact, it is worse than seeing you in the periphery of his vision eating chicken. Because he knows it's gonna happen again. And the suspense will alarm Conan O'Brien. He won't be able to do the show. He won't concentrate properly. And people will say, you blew it, Conan. We tuned in for a night of belly laughs and terrific chat and an interview with that guy who played Sylar on Heroes. And instead you fumbled your lines, you kept catching as if you were seeing something out the corner of your eye and stopping and staring for a second. You were shuddering. At one point, we heard you didn't turn the microphone off, we heard you say, on air, as we were coming back from a commercial break, I don't want to fucking go out there again. You blew it.
I can't blame him. Are you kidding me?
We need someone to replace Conan O'Brien.
No, there's...
How about the man who defeated him?
Jay Leno?
Get Holmes on the line.
Who, me? Oh,
Not
no, you don't.
Fucking Jay Leno.
Jay Leno is so...
Get wet chicken fingers Holmes on the line. And then, next night, Conan O'Brien comes up, but no. Jonan O'Brien, that is you, say, oh, we were going to have Conan O'Brien on tonight, but he blew it. Big time. Instead, we've got Boston's favourite son, Jonathan Holmes, otherwise known as Hot Scoops from MTV's Northern Trail, The Road Warrior.
I was never known as Hot Scoops, yes.
And the new theme tune of the show comes up. You know how it goes. Da-da-da-da.
Oh, no.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. da 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 da. Conan blew it, yeah. And the lights come up, and you're there in your smart suit with a Conan wig on to mock him. Cool sunglasses, which you take off so that you can maintain eye contact with the camera as you raise a chicken. Lean your head forward.
Ugh.
Oh, and it's really, because you've got a lapel microphone on now, so they're hearing.
Oh, gross.
Tear the meat off, and here's the important bit. This is the bit that's going to make everyone watching shit their pants. Lower the chicken.
I can't help but imagine that people would be hoping that I would eventually eat all of the chicken, and then I would have to stop. But even worse, I guess, is that I may eat all the chicken but not notice, and then just put like chicken rib and spine in my mouth, try to bite it, get a little bit, chew on just like a bone and a ligament, and just.
The thing is, like, how close creepy chicken eating guy is to a character that the Conan O'Brien writing team would develop. Like, I don't have difficulty visualizing this as a bit on Conan O'Brien. At all.
Except instead of a bit, it will be a half an hour type slot of you eating a chicken in total silence. And here's the thing, because I know you're worried. During commercial breaks, in fact, anytime no one's looking at you, me and Conrad are on hand with a bucket of replacement chickens. Because I want people to get this sense that you are eating an eternal chicken.
I really hate eating chicken off of the bone, just like from a corpse.
You won't be eating it off of the bone. You'll be eating it off of the skeleton.
Yes.
The full skeleton.
I should say. Yes. It's gross. It reminds me that I am eating a former friend.
You just bite into it like an apple, man. Just full on.
It's awful.
Double hand that. Get the face in and just tear in.
But like I was almost, as you noticed before, I was trying to segue into video games. I almost did. Now I can really, because you guys don't have anything more to say about that, I'm sure. The chicken thing, right? Nothing?
No.
Yes.
I'm getting a text asking what I want for dinner. I might ask for chicken. I really want chicken now.
I've got some chicken breasts in the fridge we're going to make stir fry with, so yeah, it's totally a chicken night.
Sounds delicious. There was a lot of Nintendo stuff. Most recently, Nintendo. I don't know if you guys even caught it because it became a non-story so quickly. But
it was like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, but still interesting. I think that's interesting in and of itself that it was just 2 hours before a company as big as Nintendo somehow did a 180 on something that was, maybe they didn't realize how big it was. Maybe there wasn't the decision wasn't made by somebody that was big in the company, so it wasn't as hard to work up the ladder to get somebody to make an executive decision on changing it. But EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament event of the year, is this weekend, and they had planned to have Smash Brothers Melee in it, and the Smash Brothers competitors and fans raised almost $100,000 for breast cancer research in order to secure a slot in the streamed tournament. And then Nintendo said, well, you can have a tournament, sure, you just can't stream it. What? Stream it? No, that's our game. You can't stream that. And then the internet freaked out. And I think just within those 2 hours, there was thousands of people that signed a petition trying to get them to change their mind, and hashtags were being formed, and we wrote about it here, and we wrote about it on just about every website. Every news blog had it up. And then they called EVO and said, oh, actually, yeah, just go ahead. Stream it. We didn't mean it. Weird. Yeah. Is it weird, or is it just me? I can't remember Nintendo doing something like that.
It's a shame, though, because I was already in talks with EVO to come up with a replacement.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a fucking great idea because I saw an opportunity.
Sure.
You know, something like they needed a game that they hadn't really featured before, like some sort of entertainment they're not featured before, but would kind of be on level. Because, I mean, they raised the fucking money for charity to get Melly in there.
Mm-hmm.
It needed to be something to be worth all that. So
I still said that the tournament could happen with that $100,000. You just can't watch it.
Yeah.
Right, but, you know, when the $100,000 that was raised for it, that was raised by the internet with the hope and expectation that they would be able to participate on the internet.
Exactly.
And so to have that taken away, you know, it stings.
Yeah. The only thing that would have made it happy, and this is how I pitched it to Evo, the live stream starts on, I guess, Twitch or wherever, and it says, you know, we were going to show the Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament, but due to legal decisions by Nintendo, we can't do that. We are sorry. The tournament is going on. We will keep you updated on results. Until then, please watch this. And that's when you appear on the stream, Jonathan, with a chicken in your hand. Raise the chicken. Your head forward. Constantly looking at the camera here. Tear away the meat.
Gross.
Lower the chicken. Mario just beats Sonic the Hedgehog.
He's
not in Melee, is he? He's in Brawl.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Would that be your voiceover?
Yes. I'll be updating
so
on
I don't talk still.
Mario just did a fireball on Kirby.
So no ability to relate with me as a human being, because I refuse to speak to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if anything...
Look at you looking at me eating chicken.
Yeah, it's putting me off as well. Because I'm just looking at you the whole time, because I'm behind the camera. And you'll just hear it, I'll be talking, and that's Luigi... Jesus Christ. Just like that. Just stumbling over my words. I'll blow it. I will blow it, and Conrad will have to take over. And he'll probably last 45 minutes, and then he'll blow it. Because no one wants to see you eating chicken like that, Jonathan. You disgust us.
I'm disgusted by myself, and I didn't even do anything.
As you should be.
Can't help it. So no, I get the feeling you don't have strong feelings about what happened.
No, I was having a go at him last night.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I said I said this on Twitter. I'm that brave. I said Nintendo, more like Nintendo. No, don't do that, and fuck you and fuck the troops. That got retweeted at least 5 times.
That's tons. Did you feel strongly about it when they?
I felt strong for saying it.
You were very strong.
It's strong in my heart.
It could have been the tweet that Reggie Fils-Aimé read.
Yeah.
Said he's right, guys. He's right.
At one
he's
point,
right.
He sat back and laughed and Evo won't show Super Smash Brothers, Manny. Hates the troops. We must allow it.
Make it so.
Yeah, make it so. That's a little bit of role play.
He's like Zeus.
Yes.
Just like Athens below is all of Nintendo of America, and he just rises up like this, you know, from the clouds, descending this huge form. Make it happen.
Summoning big crooked sausages.
Instead of lightning?
Yes, instead of lightning. And then he just throws them down at the mortals below. I am Zeus! Sausage!
His body is flabby, and I think
his body is ready. Ha ha, old joke.
Oh, I don't even understand why that's a joke. Is it just because everyone knows he said it once? So if you say it again, it's like, I also know he said that. I don't get it.
He said something in a vaguely unusual sentence structure.
Right, as is his way.
Everyone chuckle.
But to me, when a flabby man who is large shows his body, in a way it's even more intimidating than when a fit man does so. Because it shows a complete lack of care as to whether you like the way his body looks. You're just doing it for yourself. It's giant and flabby and sausages.
Why is Reggie naked in this?
Well, he's a Zeus. Don't they show their bodies, the Zeuses?
He could be just, like I sort of picture him shirtless. With like a loincloth thing going on.
I was thinking toga, you see.
Okay, toga would work as well.
That's my fault.
Nipple on that, sure. Exposed nipple on that.
Just
so, do you feel anything about the fact that they did it in the first place, Nintendo, and then undid it so quickly?
Yeah, I thought it was dumb fuckery. I think it's typical of the legislate first, ask questions later industry.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Holmes.
I didn't do it.
I think it's pretty typical of Nintendo at this point, where they're kind of aggressively, trying to protect their properties and control them, and which has always been the case, but they've been doing it more now with online video and so forth. And I think I wasn't surprised. I mean, it was kind of surprising at how last minute it was that it was coming down there, but it wasn't surprising really that it happened. The quick turnaround of the decision is a bit of a shock, but at the same time, a lot of noise really quickly. I can see that happening.
It's probably someone just sent them an email and says, "You do know cancer is involved, right?" That's normally the winner. Just you do realise charity, cancer, yeah. And that they wrote that in text form somehow. Yeah. Which says it all. That's all you need to do. That's how you win any argument. Cancer, charity, yeah.
I wonder. It's I don't think they're that devious, because there's a lot of people that are latching this issue onto another issue that for whatever reason is something Nintendo fans are very upset about at the moment, which is that Nintendo is committing to region locking for both the 3DS and the Wii U. I don't know why people are suddenly talking about it now, because it's been known since the Wii U came out that it was region locked, but after E3, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of petitions, a lot of articles trying to convince them otherwise, and I think it all comes down to the idea that the consumer should get to decide how they use the machines and the games that they purchase in any way that they want, and Nintendo's holding them back from doing that, and almost symbolically they just want them to quit it.
I think that's it. Symbolically, that's the Nintendo. I think's doing it fucking symbolically. Mm-hmm. They've got no good reason. I mean, Iwata's reason for keeping the region lock is the reason to end region locking. And you said, this is a global market. Is it, Iwata? Yes, it is! You do sell your products worldwide. In a global market, maybe don't erect invisible, pointless barriers.
Whoa! That was such a bold disrespect. I'm picturing you actually saying that to him.
I will! if anyone can get me close enough to Iwata at any point, I will go up to him and go, "Hello, Iwata! Hello, Iwata! First of all, Iwata, this isn't racist. This isn't the point I'm trying to make. I am doing a different voice. Iwata? You don't do anything because of the global market."
I'm picturing his permanently polite face, like, just cracking a little bit. Like, he doesn't know what's going on, but he can... Those are tones that are universally disrespectful in any language. You can walk up to somebody from, South Africa, Alaska, New Guinea, and if you go... then they know.
Either that or I think you're just a very bad Scooby-Doo impersonator.
Still, that's it's disrespectful to badly impersonate Scooby-Doo at a stranger for no reason. No matter how you look at it, he'd have to know. And but he's such a nice guy. At least that's his presence. He wouldn't want to react in kind. He would want to be polite and hear your grievance with him, and then just calmly say he's not going to do anything about it. I assume.
Yeah, he'll just say, "Take a look at this picture," and run away when I turn my head. Anyway, I've had a go at Nintendo for its fucking behaviour, for its infantile behaviour for years.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, bit of Windy Pops.
Oh, is that a burp?
It was, yeah.
Oh, farts too?
No, just Burpo.
Uh,
Anyway.
Yeah, just Burpo.
It was one of the earliest things, one of my earliest causes when I started writing about games professionally. Some people, like really old Destructoid readers, may remember back when I first started in 2006, that was one of my big things, one of my big bugbears, was Nintendo's behavior in a global market. It was especially germane to me as a UK resident because obviously I lived in Britain most of my life before coming here. This was the company that routinely delayed all of its games, anywhere between 2 to 6 months. And in one case, in the case of Animal Crossing, the first one, didn't release it in the UK for over a year, while simultaneously cracking down on imports and legally doing all it could to stop people importing the game, which to me just sends the message, fuck you, we don't want your money. That's all it does. And I railed on them for this. I railed on them for Pokemon Diamond, I think it was, and Pearl. I railed on them for Super Smash Brothers, could have been Brawl, several other games, where they've gotten better about it in recent months, past couple of years, I'd say. But back then, it was a huge deal, and where they would simultaneously stop any efforts to import and not release shit in a timely fashion around the world, which just sends the wrong message, I think, to your consumer. And this isn't about people being entitled. This is about the PR message that is sent to someone when they say, we don't want you buying this game. That's the ultimate bottom line message. We are not releasing this game here. We are also stopping you from legally purchasing the game overseas and bringing it back. We do not want your money in this case. Not until we say we're ready to have it. That is the takeaway. No matter how they dress it up, no matter what fucking excuses they come from, as a bottom line consumer, that's the message I'm taking away from that. Even if out of spite.
Well, I don't think so. It seems like a natural reaction to being parented and limited and controlled by a company who you're desperately trying to just have a consumer relationship with. But there's so many people at the company who don't make games that they don't take pride in the fact that they created anything. They just think, well, my job is to decide when people buy a thing and what the box looks like. And, that's their whole world. That's their 40 hours a week. That's their passion, is controlling who buys things, when, and in what way. So that passion can be taken as a thing that they think is actually very, very important, more important than actually just giving the consumer what they're asking you for. That parental attitude turns into something that gets pretty ugly and causes people to hate a company if it's taken too far, because it makes the consumer feel like they are a second-class citizen, and the company's arbitrary whims and power plays are more important than what the consumers are asking for. Yeah.
And this was, I had a pretty damn good game collection before I moved to the States, most of which became useless thanks to things like region locking. There's stuff I abandoned back home. Just couldn't bring it with me. What was the point? Some I did bring anyway, just out of love for them, but they just sit there. They're bricks, coasters essentially as games. They don't do anything. So this whole region locking thing's been a big deal to me for years, as someone who has moved across the world, as someone who was in regions that didn't get the same timely releases others did, as someone who watched YouTube clips of Captain Rainbow and thought, "Oh," so yeah. And as for the suddenness of it happening with the Wii U, I don't think that happened for no reason. As far as I can tell, a lot of people were suddenly cheered on by Microsoft's reversal of Xbox One's region locking and DRM policies and thought, well, if we can do that, we can do anything. And then marched on Nintendo's doors, especially because with the Xbox One, putting an end to its own region locking, the Wii U is now the only system, home console-wise, that does it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's really what it was. It was whittled down, and people were encouraged. So,
that makes sense. Yeah.
I never really believed Nintendo, because Nintendo is Nintendo and will always do what Nintendo wants to do, regardless of what people want and reality. And sometimes that works for them, sometimes it doesn't. But at the same time, I saw no harm in supporting it and wishing everyone the best and spreading the word about it. I'm still a big supporter of the no region locking campaign, as it were, even if I don't think it's ever going to work, because sometimes I think even if there's a hopeless cause, it's better to at least say you tried than not. In all things, in many things, games aren't the most important thing in the world, but I think that attitude applies everywhere, even whether it's entertainment or a more important social issue. Even if it's a losing battle, if you believe in it, go for it. And
sure.
As I say that, I know some idiot's going to say, "Oh yeah, even if you're the Westboro Baptist Church, fuck off."
Well,
that's not what I mean, you smarmy bastard.
I think that you won't really know where Nintendo stands unless you push it as far as you truly believe you should. It may not get you anywhere, but it will expose the company for, and I shouldn't just focus on Nintendo, all the companies. If 10,000 people sign a petition, or if 100,000 people sign a petition saying they want something, that doesn't mean Nintendo is going to change it, but that will show the world how little Nintendo cares about 100,000 people, or 200,000, or up to 1 million. I'm curious, though, if the Evo switch around was due to the cancer research, like you guys guessed. I wonder if somebody said, "I will die unless you bring out Captain Rainbow. I will die." And then people are like, "How will you die?" "I will die." I wonder if that would, and if they got a lot of press, if they were on Fox News, with the lady. She's being like, "So you're going to die if you don't get Captain Rainbow?" "Uh-huh. Gonna die." Just looks at the camera.
You need to be that.
Me? No, nobody will listen to me. I'm not cute enough.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Cute Caucasian.
When they ask if you're going to die, you look right into the camera and you raise the chicken.
Oh no! So I'm eating the chicken while I'm claiming I'm going to die?
But it was still a delight.
I didn't think the chicken was going to...
Chicken Delight, that's your name.
Chicken Delight is my name?
Chicken Delight. Oh. People will go on the bus and think, "Oh god, there's Chicken Delight, we're in for a treat." Because they get really excited until they remember what it's like to be stared at by a man eating chicken.
A little kid can do it. It's cute when little kids do it.
Jonathan?
Yes?
One day, talking about you going on Fox and telling the world you're going to die if you don't get Captain Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
That is a sad thought. Mortality. Because we all will die one day.
It's true.
I don't want you to, Jonathan.
Thanks, I don't want you to either.
Yeah, well, that's definitely happening. But I was thinking about this, last week. I want to make you, Jonathan, a phylactery.
Is that something milk comes out of?
No.
Phylactery? That's not a fellatio factory, is it?
No.
Oh, phew.
No, don't be remedial.
I just was worried, that's all.
A phylactery is a jar or some sort of container that holds your soul, your life essence. And as long as that remains, so shall thee.
Does that work?
Yeah. In about 500 years' time, you will be a desiccated lich. But I only see that as a benefit. I'll tell a lie. I want to turn you into a lich.
They're not real. They're they're spooky monsters that don't exist, I don't think. They're very powerful, though.
Very
Watch out.
powerful.
Mm.
You're going to be so powerful when we turn you into an lich, Jonathan Holmes. All we need is a soldier, a phylactery, and it will keep you tethered to this world for eternity, allowing you all the time you need to study the dark arts and master magic and witchcraft, lichcraft, and get really, really good at Super Meat Boy.
I am okay at Super Meat Boy. I am not really, really good.
But if you were a lich, no death run.
Whoa.
Do a no death run of Super Meat
Oh, that's, yeah. A lich, a no death run. That's good. That's good, Jim.
I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that. I'm accidentally clever. I like that. It'll be brilliant, like 500 years from now, whoever's hosting Twitch TV, or Lich TV, will be live streaming on the internet, and will say, we are delighted to have Jonathan Holmes, the Lich Lord, is going to come out, and play Super Meat Boy, no death run, and then you'll, float out with gowns. You've got skin, but it's grey and all the bones are visible, so you're basically a skeleton with just skin pulled tight over it. And you just come out and say, hello! I am Jonathan Holmes, and I like Super Meat Boy!
Whoa.
And then you raise the chicken, head forward, eat the chicken, and lower the chicken.
As a lich, as a member of the now I'm just a zombie. Now I'm just a disgusting, borderline cannibalistic, undead creature that
you
makes
make a good point. It would have to be a rotten chicken, basically just a chicken skeleton that you're just putting up to your face. And it's probably, rather than you tearing flesh off it, the rib bones are probably sticking into your face and tearing chunks of your flesh off. And it's just sloughing off.
But zombies eat rotten, gross stuff too. That doesn't make it any less gross when zombies do it.
You're not a zombie, you're a lich. Very different.
Totally different form of
It doesn't seem that different.
Zombie is mindless. Zombie is a mindless zombie, basically. You're a lich. You're like at the higher echelon of undead. I'd put you above a vampire, mate.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Vastly sorcerous.
Hyper intelligent.
Incredibly intelligent. You've spent the past 500 years just learning. And you're really good at Super Meat Boy.
That's not that new of a game. I could have been playing something more recent.
No, it is just Super Meat Boy. Because you are a lich.
You really put the most time into.
You are also arcane and archaic. Super Meat Boy
sure.
will be like one of your occult relics.
They're making another one, I gotta bug them about that.
Yeah.
They're making one for the iPad, I think.
This phylactery.
Yeah.
I want you to shit into a mason jar.
What? No.
Yeah.
Gross.
To be honest, I didn't bother reading up on phylacteries before recording today, but I was reading the Dungeons & Dragons wiki to learn things about Dungeons & Dragons, which, as you know, a few months ago I started playing, and they mentioned a phylactery. I think I know enough. It's got to contain, your essences, Jonathan. So what we need to do is you need to get a mason jar, put it on the floor. I'll help. I'll be taking photographs of all of this. And pull your little ass cheeks apart, Jonathan, and just defecate into the mason jar. Not too much. Don't worry. We'll be doing this in your kitchen, Jonathan, where it's sterile and nice. I'll be underneath your bum hole. I'll be holding the mason jar with a ruler, and I'll hold the ruler to the side of the jar because I'll measure it. I want about 3.5 inches of your waist. you'll begin pooping. Don't worry if you get any on me. I'll be made up with that. Measuring it, and then when it's full, when it goes to where I want it, I'll just pull the mason jar away, and then you finish your business.
I don't want to poop in the kitchen, or on you, or near you, or in a jar.
Jonathan,
none of it.
You won't live forever if you don't have a phylactery.
But that's a poop jar. That's
earthly soil.
Can't I?
It needs to have the essence of your earthly soil.
Can I put skin flakes in there?
No.
Hairballs. Hairballs.
No. This is only the first ingredient, right?
What?
These are all things like near and dear to your body. That's what it needs to do. It needs to contain the very essence of your body. So, earthly soil. That goes in 3.5 inches of that, please. Luckily, of course, many times when we defecate, a bit of pee-pee comes out of us as well. And that's so I just need to push the mason jar forward while you're still squatting and pooping, and then just catch the drippy drops of pee-wee that come out. And that goes in the phylactery as well.
the tone of pride in your voice.
I'm very pleased with this.
Might I add, that goes in the phylactery as well. As if I hadn't figured that out yet. Oh, really? There will be pee and poo in the jar that you're collecting from me.
No one said necromancy was pleasant.
And on your kitchen floor, if we're being totally honest at this point.
Yeah. Hell, if we mess this up too much, your entire kitchen will be a phylactery, Jonathan. We don't want that. We need something, that can be hidden away, because this will be basically your heart on the outside of your decaying body. So we got to take good care of it. That's why it's a mason jar. Sturdy. Okay? You need essence of life's blood.
It's not. It's the waste that you produce when you try to stay alive. Your body's like, I want to live. I got to get rid of this waste that will be bad for me living. Now you're just putting the bad parts in the jar. The poop.
Yeah. So where do you want us to cut you?
Don't cut me at all.
You need life's blood in there. I mean, arm, arse cheek. I'm thinking I'd like to bleed your arse.
What? Who likes that?
Right?
Nobody likes that.
I just get like a pen, and I just actually no, good idea. Corkscrew. Pop that on your bum, on your left or your right cheek.
He'll be like a little piggy.
Yeah.
Cute. Piggies are cute.
Skewer that in, little piggy. Pop it out. And then I'll grab, one of your filthy shit pillows and just squish it. So life's arse blood comes out into the jar.
That's bad. You're sad. That's not good. Don't do it.
Now, of course...
Me. No, yeah.
Of course, Jonathan, once we've done all that, we need the liquid of all life.
What?
What fluid does your body produce from which all life springs?
Tears?
I'm gonna need you to come in the jar of shit and piss and blood, Jonathan.
What? No, gross.
Stop it off! Now I realise that having shat in front of your friends... Don't worry, Conrad will be there banging a ceremonial drum. After shitting and pissing in front of your friends, having been bled of quite a lot of blood, I won't give you a ballpark figure or anything. Let's just say quite a lot. Because not only have we had to fill up the jar to halfway, I've kept some for myself.
Why?
Vampire. So you turn round... And you're going to be tired. Like I said, lost a lot of blood. And to be honest, you'll be lucky if you've got enough to sustain where it needs to go and stay conscious. That's why I'll be whacking you off, Jonathan! Is he still?
I don't want to. I won't do it. Even if this. Oh, what was that?
I don't know. We had some weird technical difficulties. It's probably dark.
What's going?
It's
Hello?
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 Yeah, I'm here. Sounded like a demon, like a cackling demon.
Oh, it was probably me laughing. Sorry.
We are meddling in dark forces, I think is what's going on. This proves that the plan is good.
Well, I mean, now, alternatively, we could just have him masturbate with the jar. I mean, that seems like the most effective delivery method for the semen, right?
That's a good idea. I mean, it's going to be warm in that jar.
Right.
It's going to be solid, yet yielding in that jar.
The conditions should be perfect.
Yeah. We're going to need you to fuck the jar, Jonathan.
What? No, how do you even do that? They're too big.
Like I said, there's going to be things inside the jar at that point.
Yeah, with all of the material in the jar itself.
Yeah, with enough viscosity and yield to, I think, produce a pleasurable experience for you.
You think that me putting my penis in a poop jar would be pleasurable? Poop penis.
I don't think there's anything wrong with fucking a jar of your own shit and blood.
I didn't say there's anything. This is, it's not right or wrong. It's just not.
You're right. We shouldn't shame people. We shouldn't shame people who are currently, right now, turned on by the idea of Jonathan Holmes fucking a jar of his own shit.
That's fine.
Okay?
I don't want to do it.
You're gonna have to.
Why? to live forever?
Yeah.
Then Captain Rainbow won't even come out. Can I get Captain Rainbow to come out first, and then... That's not going to make me live forever, though. I mean, if you could prove it. If you could point in my direction someone who has definitely been alive for 1,000 years.
Keith Richards.
Did he do it? If he showed me the jar, and if
you look at that man and you tell me he didn't fuck a mason jar full of his own blood and shit.
I can't be sure.
He has done things. Horrible things.
Probably. Oh, and that Steven Tyler, too. I wonder what he's had.
Oh, shit! Oh, look, it's Keith Richards.
What?
Oh, hello. Did you fuck a jar of your own shit and blood or not, Keith Richards? Yes, I'm a lich. Brilliant. See you next year. There you go.
That wasn't really Keith Richards.
It definitely was. You heard him.
That was you being a funny little fella in the corner, mumbling. It's cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, I like it.
So, I mean, I see nothing wrong with this plan. By this point, the jar is full of your shit, your blood, your piss, your cum, all the essential body ingredients. All it needs then is life's breath. Just stick your nose and mouth into the jar, breathe in deep, so, its essence fills you and mixes inside you, and then breathe out. And then your soul will come out with it. And it might feel and taste and sound like you're just, vomiting physically. That's what your soul looks and tastes and smells like. You're not actually being sick because you inhaled your own cum and shit. That's how you know it's working, Jonathan.
It's the grossest idea.
It's not.
We've had grosser. I think it is.
We've had grosser.
Sure. I'm not sure.
I'm sure there's been a lot more poo involved in some.
There's been some ideas that are more hurtful, like physically painful. But this is the one that really takes all of the bad and puts it in a jar and then makes me smell it.
Well, I mean, that's the point of necromancy and employing dark magic to live forever, Jonathan. It's not pleasant. It's dirty business. Someone's got to do it. I'd like it to be you. It can't be me. I'm holding the jar. Conrad's banging on a drum, saying things like, "Oh."
Why don't you guys want to live forever? Why don't you do it first?
No, No, I couldn't possibly. I couldn't deal with the loss of all of the people that I really care about around me. And, yeah.
Yeah, I've
Your
watched
sensitivity
Torturous
is the problem.
long-term existence.
I've watched a lot of Television's Angel, and he's not happy with it. So
Right, yeah. Television's Highlander. The Adrian Paul always seemed very distressed with his extended lifespan. No, I couldn't handle that. But you're a lot stronger than I am, Holmes.
plus the world demands you.
Exactly.
Well,
Nobody wants us to live
The
forever.
world can live without Jim and Conrad.
I don't know if that's true.
It can't suffer the loss of Jonathan, even if that means keeping him around as a haunted lich.
Yeah, it's not really living at that point, is it?
It'll be brilliant. You'll wear like a raggedy dressing gown and a paper crown.
That's not brilliant. That is bad life.
You can start doing that now, actually.
I
You
suppose I
go
could.
around Boston. Go around Boston wearing like a stained, shitty old dressing gown and a paper crown, like from a Christmas cracker or something. Wear roller skates, and me and Conrad will have like string tied to your waist, and we'll be pulling you along so it looks like you are spookily floating. And you'll just walk, like, float around Boston pointing at people, saying, "I'm a lich! Give me all your money!"
It's a great lich voice. Got better the longer you did it. It's like you
That's
hurt
neat.
yourself into authenticity.
Make a bit
Yes.
of money. You can
I don't want any money.
You can have a bucket with a handle that you're holding, with a little note on it that says "Lich Donations," and we're pulling you along on roller skates. And we've got like black marker pen, like permanent marker pen, and we've drawn all lines all over your face so it looks rotten. And you just point at people. We'll go near like some bars, biker bars at night. And you can just go past them and point at bikers and say, "I am a lich! Give me all your money! You fat bastard!" Like that to the biggest, heaviest biker.
That's not going to go over well.
Well, there's one of two ways that can go. I mean, either,
Yeah.
and this is the more likely scenario, I think, they recognize you as their undead lord and master and kneel in supplication. That's, I mean, practically a given. I mean, there is a small chance that they're not one of those death cult worshipping bicycle clubs. But I mean, really,
Yeah, I mean,
what are the odds, right?
yeah, I mean, there's like a 95% chance of a biker gang worshipping the eternal dread forces of the Night Children, Jonathan, of all creatures of darkness who float and weave their screams under the veil of a silver moonlight. Generally are involved in all the biker clubs. There's a couple of straight edge ones who will be very unhappy to see you.
Like Catholic ones?
There are some Catholic biker clubs, definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is a descendant of the Holy Knights Templar.
Wow, cool.
But, as they went on, they changed the appearance of their organization to be with the times,
I don't know. I think you just free.
They're not in Boston, though.
Okay. Mm.
Most of them are your proper hardcore Satan-worshipping demonic bikers. Some of which, might be demons in human form. And when they see you being pulled along on your child's roller skates with your dressing gown and your paper crown and a bucket, saying, "Give me all your money," they'll give you, whatever they've got on them. $50. Why not?
I don't no.
Think of how many full roast chickens we can buy with $50. Not that many.
Yeah, like 4, 5.
That's enough to keep you going on a relatively lengthy local bus journey. And that'll be good. You'll be sat there on the chair with one chicken in your hands, and then 3 more sat on top of each other on the seat next to you. No one will sit next to you.
Do you want to talk about Zombie U?
I really don't.
You felt a feeling about it.
I'm quite happy
You were like,
talking about you being an undead master of
no.
sorcery and infernal knowledge.
I'm out. I can't. What can I say? What can I do? There comes a time when you're cornered.
I know what your problem is, Jonathan.
Zombie U?
Liches have like long, lengthy strands of white hair, but you are completely bald. We need to cook up some spaghetti and duct tape that round the edges of your head
to make me spaghetti head.
More of a lich, spaghetti lich.
Zombie U's not getting a sequel, Jim. It only sold 500,000 copies. 500,000 was not enough to garner a sequel.
Force your video game discussion on me.
I just wanted
to
tell you.
Like the unwanted advances of an aristocratic suitor.
It's a video. I mean, we are on this podcast because we are the video game guys, Destructoid video game guys. Don't you want to be like us? We write about Zombie U. People read it. Exciting. 500,000 copies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah? You want to talk about Zombie?
Yeah. Zombie U, no sequels happening.
Yeah. No planned sequel.
Because of you, Jonathan.
It's not my fault. I bought it.
No, it's not your fault. That was some bad intel on my part.
Oh, good. So I am okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
I don't know if I would have expected it to sell more than 500,000 copies in less than a year with the install base that it had. I probably would if I were you.
It was a launch title on the console. The install base is not there now, even for third parties to be considering. And that's really, I think, the issue here. Is it's not necessarily just that Zombie U didn't perform that well. It's that the prospects of something else from a third party performing well on the Wii U right now isn't very good.
Right.
And so maybe after Christmas, if they manage to, if Nintendo's strategy of pumping out their own stuff to create demand for the console works, and we see a whole lot of Wii U's around the holidays and homes, tenor could change, but it's probably too late for Zombie U.
I mean, it might be too late for Nintendo. I mean, that kind of bad publicity sticks. And even if they start, especially the whole got no games thing, even when that stops being true, that a system doesn't have, many notable titles, the stigma sticks. Like a really bad smell. It just stays with a system. So, having the reputation it's got, having constant stories of things that have gone wrong or things that aren't looking good, having Ubisoft come out and say Zombie U was not even close to profitable, that's, I don't know. I just think its reputation right now is in the shitter. And not through lack of quality on the console's part. I think the Wii U is a fine system. But the kind of PR stink it's picked up is going to be very, very difficult, like insurmountably difficult to scrub off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way outside of third parties starting to talk about how well their games are doing on the Wii U all the time for like a year. Just a new headline every week. Ubisoft says, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much better the Wii U version sold," and so on about whatever multi-platform games are exclusives. Then third parties are just gonna. I mean, they don't want Nintendo to necessarily do well anyway. A lot of third parties have been pretty open about saying, "Yeah, it would be better off if Nintendo was gone. They're eating up all of or a lot of our audience anyway." Especially
Who said that?
Oh, plenty of third parties have said that.
I've only ever seen them say, everybody winning is good for everybody. I've never heard them say that.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I'm recollecting third parties saying that Nintendo should get out of the console business and also out of the domination of the market business when it comes to their brand of game, and let people jump in there, do Nintendo type of games, and actually have the ability to be number one at it. I'm trying to think of who. Maybe they haven't been big third parties. Maybe it was just like the Flips Twisted World.
Well, that's just completely fucking asinine. Like, I mean, it'd be one thing if Nintendo exited the hardware market and then focused solely on producing software for other platforms featuring their properties. That makes some kind of logical sense. But, like, we want the, people who are the very best at doing the thing that we want to do to exit the marketplace so that there's, a chance that maybe we could, be our substandard product now looks better. That's just fucking absurd.
Yeah, but you can't blame them for wanting it, because that would be good for them financially if they could just be number one, I guess.
You know what? Please go find that and send it to me so that I know whose products never to buy.
I will look into it, and it could be a false recollection as well. Who knows?
I think right now the only thing that's going to get third parties interested again and scrub away this stuff is for the Wii U to get really fucking lucky and then just suddenly start doing what the Wii did. Like, we're talking about getting on Oprah. We're talking about getting, features on Fox and things. Becoming the kind of sudden cultural phenomenon. Becoming the fad. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. Becoming the kind of whirlwind fad sensation that the Wii did for a good long while. Other than that, I mean, that's the problem. The Wii U right now is treading the exact same path the Wii did, but with the major difference being that the Wii got featured on Oprah and the Wii U didn't. Like, that's the big difference maker. The Wii survived doing what it did because it clicked with that wide audience. Nintendo seemed to have bet the farm on the exact same thing happening, and it didn't.
Yeah, it is puzzling that they were. I think they went in underconfident in the wrong ways and overconfident in the wrong ways. The fact that they might have thought that the Wii U gamepad would offer the same kind of accessibility to people who always thought, video games aren't for me. That's what the Wii did, and that's what iPhones are doing now, at least in my opinion. I think people saw the Wii 6 years ago and thought, I don't have to press buttons. I can move a thing around. I do that in real life all the time. I can move a thing around in a video game and I'll be able to play it well. That'll be fun for me. And now they're just thinking, I can touch a screen on my phone. That's easy and fun. Yeah. I'm doing it.
The other big problem is it doesn't have that sudden instant visual appeal that the Wii had. You see people playing the Wii on a sitcom, on a some TV show, you always see the same thing. They're playing Wii Sports, almost always Wii Tennis, and you see them stood up, flicking their hands backwards and forwards, doing this physical thing. That's an instantly recognizable thing. People can see that straight away and think, look at them, they're having fun physical activity. The Wii U, in order to showcase what it can do, requires explanation. Otherwise, you're just looking at a guy hunched over a chair with a little tablet and a little stylus and stuff, or waving this nondescript black slab about slowly in front of his television, and that doesn't have that sudden instant communication of this is gratifying, this is fun, this is entertainment, this is something we all can do, that the Wii had. You can't have someone playing the Wii U on a sitcom or on, a stage on a talk show and have people instantly laughing and feeling involved and getting in on the action. The Wii U doesn't do that, but Nintendo kind of hoped it would.
It does when, a lot of people who saw the tennis game, I'm sorry, the golf game that still hasn't come out for the Wii U, where you put your controller down on the ground and you use the Wii remote to knock the ball off the controller and have it fly on the TV screen. A lot of people are like, I want to do that. But then that game just hasn't come out for some reason. It's weird.
But I mean, even again, that's cool. That looked cool. I bet they can't fucking do it. I bet that's why.
Right. Well, maybe not. So far, so bad. Yeah.
But again, it's not as simple. I mean, I think that's what gets people going, and when it comes to having this sudden instant appeal, is a simple, easy to digest concept. Mm-hmm. I'm waving this remote control, familiar. I'm waving this familiar, safe, comfortable looking product, and someone's hitting a tennis ball. That works in someone's mind. I've put this tablet that's not a tablet on the floor, and I've got one of those remotes, but now I'm playing golf and the screen has a ball on it. And when I hit the screen with the ball, I'm not really going to hit it, but I'm going to stand over it. And then the ball will happen on the television. You know, it instantly adds all these steps. And when you see it, you know, it's not really that complicated. But compared to the sudden, instant, elegant simplicity of what you saw with the Wii, it's way more convoluted. Mm-hmm. Even if it's... you know, when you look at it, when you take a step back and look at the two, it's not like rocket science compared to having a shit, but it is still more complicated than can be visually communicated in 3 seconds flat. And that's what the Wii had, and that's not what the Wii U has.
Yeah, so they were betting that, we're not going to necessarily get all of that audience. We might get some of that audience with more games that are just like Wii games, because the Wii U can use the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck, and maybe people will still want to play games like that, but we're going to go after that audience that were angry at the Wii and didn't like the Wii and felt left behind by it or discluded or forgotten. But they just don't. You can't just say, hey, I like you again, and have...
Well, they didn't commit in any one direction. Mm-hmm. It wasn't simplistic enough, or should I say visually simplistic enough to get that sudden, this is the fun new toy appeal that the Wii had. Mm-hmm. It's not as complex and engaging enough to appeal to the so-called core crowd. Mm-hmm. You know, especially in terms of visuals. I mean, already companies are excited for the Xbox One and the PS4. Not so much for something that already looks I hate to say it, but last gen, you know? Mm-hmm. Just talking about the attitude that people have towards it. By the same token, the gamepad itself is nowhere near good enough to compete with a tablet. You know, we all knew that. But in trying to stretch itself in these 3 different directions, you know, trying to appeal to people who got giddy over the Wii, trying to appeal to people who didn't like the Wii at all, and trying to appeal to the mobile tablet crowd. You know, any one of those avenues is viable, but if you're just walking several feet in each direction rather than going the whole distance, you're gonna have something that doesn't really scream excitement to anyone.
They should have commercials demonstrating off TV play.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, little sketches where, you know, the guy's playing his video game on the TV and the wife comes in and wants to watch, you know, whatever else. And, you know, then fine, just switch it off. And little things like that to sort of demonstrate the value of these. Because I think what's interesting about the Wii U's sort of it is in a way trying to be something for everyone, and failing utterly to really effectively focus on any one group of people on the whole, I think. But then go for those middle-of-the-road people who, you know, have lives that would like to game, but their TV's occupied by their parents or their wife or their sibling or whatever. Make that a focal point and give that as value to families. And that could actually start to move units, I think. But you have to focus on the ways in which the console is unique in order to make it a success. And it's all kind of so bland all around the device.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. It's even something like the off-TV play requires them showing it in several steps to communicate the value of that, and also is not visually stimulating to show people. I'm talking purely in terms of what it would take to get it as explosive in people's minds as the Wii was.
You just get Robin Williams and his daughter to do it when the Zelda game comes
That would
out.
help, yeah.
That's it. It's done.
But yeah, I mean that's where it failed as an attempt to follow up the Wii. Is the best stuff, the stuff it does best, can't really be communicated to people in an exciting and sudden way. That's not to say it doesn't have value, it does. The off-TV play is valuable, the Miiverse is... I fucking love the Miiverse as a concept. But this is... They wanted a system, they needed a system to be as successful as the Wii was. If only for the fact that having that would save their ass right now as third parties flee them. Because third parties eventually, a lot of them stop giving a shit about the Wii, but Nintendo could say, fuck you, we've got the Wii. But fuck you, we've got the Wii U isn't as impressive.
I don't think it matters that much.
Oh,
They can always come back in a few years with another console and try again.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying Nintendo's bone long term.
No. But lest people think that might be the impression.
Yeah, definitely not. I think Nintendo's fine. I'm just talking about their stake in this current race. It might behoove them to not have the Wii U last the whole generation coming. I'm not saying replace it tomorrow, but maybe have a short run.
Well, what if they were able to drop the price drastically, and they ended up having all of these little low-budget, interesting titles on it that you couldn't get anywhere else because those kinds of games couldn't compete against the kind of games that are going to be on the PS4 and the Xbox One because the budgets just aren't going to be as big. Like the Wonderful 101. What if there was a game like that coming out every month? That would be pretty interesting. I think they could make a case for them being the secondary console that you really have to have in order to get a full range of what's going on in video games right now. If
they'd have done that sooner, then yes.
Oh, sure.
I mean, if they do it now, it's too little too late.
And be perfectly honest, they would announce that they're doing it. They'd reveal the first 6 months of titles, and it would happen for those 6 months. And then it would be over. It would quietly go away.
I mean, that was my biggest disappointment with the Wii U, was they finally, at last, had an eShop, an online marketplace that was elegantly well-designed, fun to browse, responsive, and I've not switched it on since the first week of the Wii U's launch. I've not had cause to ever go back to the Nintendo Wii U eShop.
Super Metroid for 30 cents, how about that?
Can't be bothered. Can't be bothered to have Super Metroid again, 30 cents or otherwise.
But you're right, there's nothing really compelling in there. And, there was a good month where once, twice a week, I would flip on the Wii U just to go to the eShop and just in case I missed something. Because I wanted so desperately to use this and to find value in the system. And it's there are neat things about it, and I'm glad I have one, and I'm sure that I will be long-term happy that I got one. But, yeah, it's just not there yet in a place where I would say to other people, yeah, man, you should really get a Wii U for these reasons.
It's true. It might be different once Animal Crossing, Pokemon, blah, 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 come out on it, but might not. That stuff only did so much for the GameCube. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we talked about it. What else? Anything else you want to talk about before it's too late? Before I do the questions? No?
Nah.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Fuck it.
Whoa. That was so passionate.
I'm a passionate man.
It's true.
As passionate as Eliza Dushku.
She was not sounding that passionate.
She, in her heart, she is. She tries not to show it because she doesn't want to let her emotions bubble to the surface. She's very guarded.
I think she said that before. She was brought up in part with a lot of influence from her older brothers, which makes her like older brothery things. You know who else is from around, sort of where I am from around, is Steve Carell.
Oh.
Yeah, we could all get together. And Conan O'Brien. I used to live on a street that he lived on.
Fucking hell. We could get Eliza Dushku, Conan O'Brien, Steve Carell to do Podtoid for us, and then it'd be good.
People do love that Podtoid. They do. It's an acquired taste, I guess, but the passion runs deep. I've been hearing more and more of that. People saying, stop all these things you're doing, Teenage Pokemon, Sup Holmes. Ugh. Just do more Podtoid. Do Podtoid every day.
Oh yeah, anything I link to that I do that isn't Podtoid, just Podtoid. Podtoid.
I made a mistake and retweeted something that somebody said. Quinn, who's at Q27, announced that Miami Connection is streaming on Netflix, and I had to retweet that right after I said the Podtoid questions, which has caused the Podtoid questions to really be slow.
Thank fuck.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get any questions. I mean, right now, Eric Kelly, who I like a whole lot, just asks, who deserves a deep dicking? How can I ask that question on Podtoid? No, anyone who wants one, I guess. But it seems like a yucky deep dicking as opposed to just medium dicking. What? Anyway, do you guys want to answer that? Who deserves a deep dicking? Are you gone?
I think everyone deserves a deep dicking.
Oh, okay.
I think it's something to be enjoyed by her soul.
I mean, if you're not interested in a deep dicking, hey, no means no. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure. But anyone who wants one deserves one.
Also, I'm incapable of delivering one. So it's not really my game at all.
So you don't consider it too often?
It's
because
just not something I have to think about.
Well, it's nice to have that off your chest. You just don't. I mean, off your plate.
There's just no threat of a deep dicking here, is all I'm saying.
More questions came in, which is nice. Thank you, Eric Kelly, for that question. That got us through the tough times. Geez, I don't know if we can answer this one. We can try. Peter F. Williams on Twitter asks, if games absolutely have to innovate and quotes mature unquotes, how would you like to see them do it? I guess I would like to see them take on a variety of different things and try to do stuff to the player that's different than just kind of the same kind of stuff, and know that they can get away with having all sorts of characters. Like when Jim was talking about the Wii U and the Wii, and how you need to, in order to be marketable, you have to have your console make sense to someone in 3 seconds. That's how people often deal with characterizations in video games and movies and whatever. They want to look at all the characters and be like, yep, that's the nerd, that's the smart guy, that's the cool girl, instantly. But with video games, you don't necessarily have to do that, because when you play as the character, you figure out who they are and relate with them right away just by moving them around. So you don't need that same kind of instant understandability in order to relate with a character. I hope video games figure that out soon. The last one to try that recently, I guess, was Remember Me, and that was kind of a wash in some ways, according to Jim's review.
Yeah, it was alright. I actually agree with you, though. I think I would love to see them actually do characters, like actual characters in video games again. That'd be nice. One of my most disappointing was Prototype. Now, I love Prototype. I think it's a great little series that we'll never see again. But the character in the first game, Alex Mercer, in some of the early trailers, he was this kind of gleeful, somewhat sadistic, grinning, malevolent anti-hero of a guy. And I was really pleased with that. I thought that suits what he's doing. And it's cool to see a character that almost like gleeful with what he's got and is doing. And then when it came to the actual game, they kind of really blanted him down again, turned him into yet another everyman, cookie-cutter guy with no real defining personality traits other than guy who does things. Mm-hmm. And you see that so much in games, especially these days. Always someone called Jake or Jack who fucking gruffs their way through a situation. And that's really the character, is person who has situation happen to them and then they happen to the situation. And they've got no real history, no real likes, dislikes, turns of phrase, things that allow us to separate them from the rest of the people. And I miss that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get the guts up for that again. I hope that, I don't know, so many people in video games do. I don't mean people in the games. I mean in the industry. They are following Hollywood, and Hollywood is more and more people in Hollywood anyway are talking about how the multi-$100 million, $200 million, $300 million blockbuster just isn't sustainable anymore. Even the global markets are getting kind of sick of it. The Lone Ranger made, I think, $48 million in its first week, and it cost like $300 million to make or something. So, no more. And then there was what was that?
There was a $150 million deficit.
Right, and it's the same company that did John Carter, which saw a similar issue last year. So there's a pattern starting to form where people are saying that's not the way to make money. You don't want to lose a lot of money before your thing has even come out and hope to turn a profit. Hoping video games learn that they can do that as well and take risks with characters that are a little bit less mainstream friendly, but all the same, once you're playing the game, you don't really think about that anymore. You're just having fun playing a thing. Hopefully they'll figure that out. I mean, geez, look at sports. People can relate with a guy named Ocho Cinco. Hard. Even though his frickin' name is Ocho Cinco, you could never get away. Can you picture the next Uncharted? You know, Nathan Drake's gone. The new guy is named Numbers. It would never happen.
I do think that would be a good name for David Boreanaz, though. Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, maybe Boreanaz would like that. Who knows? I'm rambling, though. I'm sorry. We'll get back to the questions. Annex Donnelly wants to know, what do you think of the Oculus Rift? Have you guys played that Rift?
I haven't put one on my head. I've seen it at events, and I get motion sickness, and I've heard that that's a problem for some people who use that, so I've kind of tried to stay away from having things put on my head.
Sure. Yeah, I've heard from even the people who love it the most that you just need to prepare to play it for a half hour only. It's almost like a motion-controlled game in that you're going to get tired after a half hour if it's non-stop physical exertion. So just be prepared to use it in that way. Because it's just that's the way your brain works with a thing that makes you think you're falling down even though your body is physically not falling down. If you trick your brain into thinking it's doing something but your body doesn't get the same sensation, you're going to throw up. So that's not that good. Seems fun, though.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I probably wouldn't be interested in playing games with it that... Like shooters with an Oculus Rift where you're running and jumping around and stuff probably wouldn't appeal to me so much as a more contemplative adventure game style approach where I can be immersed in an environment and there isn't that exertion. I think that sort of thing might even play better with the disconnect that you're describing. But
sure.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of appeal in frenetic action surround sound. Games are relaxation for me for the most part now, I think.
That's
and
funny.
I like having that separation.
That's just the kind of game that almost Sup Holmes guest Holly Pickering is making. Ether 1. Explore somebody's brain from the inside out.
Right.
Seems pretty neat. Pacific Rim, planning to go? Asks Illuminatima. I believe I pronounced that right. Gonna go see the Rim? Come on, you guys.
No.
It's just a Rim. No, I don't want to see that Pacific Rim.
I'm not particularly interested or excited about the movie, and even films that I really want to see in theaters, I don't bother going. So, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of it's hot where I am. If it's really hot and I can see a matinee, I might go just to be in air conditioning for 2 hours because I don't have it. I need popcorn, and the movie looks good. I like Guillermo del Toro quite a bit. It won't be that good. It'll be okay, for sure.
I'm going to see it.
Yeah?
Probably not this week or next week. I don't like seeing movies in theaters with lots of people. I like to go once the crowds have died a little bit and then go. So I will see it. Looking forward to seeing robots punching things. So it'll be cool.
It seemed like they tried to give it kind of an Aliens 2 type heart as well, where there's some unexpected people in the starring role, people that you relate with and see as kind of tough guy underdogs, simultaneous tough guy underdogs. That's always fun. Yeah, I like that Aliens 2 feeling. So many questions now, but we're almost at 2 hours already with this show. We jumped right in.
Yeah.
This is one for you, Jim. Owner22 says, does Jim know about the new site FanFunDXX? It's like Indiegogo for porn. Will he use this site to fulfill his ungodly desires?
What the fuck?
FanFundXXX? I guess it's
on my way.
Madly hear the typing in the background.
Fan funding for adult entertainment. Fans get involved in the next generation of adult entertainment. Help fund porn stars, directors, toys, and more. Jonathan, I've got an idea. Hear me out.
No.
Let's see what's new this week.
On Fan
Nothing found. It seems we can't find what you're looking for. Let's have a look at the staff picks. 2.
Are there any?
This is
is
not
there
going to
anything
be
on the website?
So here we got a Saw hardcore parody. Saw 2, Raise the Blade.
Oh yes, there will be sex. That's the tagline.
Instead of there will be blood? Is that a porny there will be blood?
Yes.
Maybe something good? It's hard to imagine anything good is going to come of this.
I'm looking at the trailer now. It looks really shit.
Yes, it does. I'm looking at stills from the project, and it is...
But it's directed by Dick Chibbles.
Well, that's a name you can trust.
The long-awaited porn... It's got 224 views on YouTube, this trailer.
Ooh.
It's not that many, but it's a start.
Oh! He's called Jigsaw instead of Jigsaw.
Oh, that's clever.
It's alright. Girl's being electrocuted and she's dribbled everywhere. That's
what does that mean? Like drooling?
That's a shame. I don't like this new habit of just calling a porn parody a porn parody. Just Saw 2 XXX parody. This seems to have been a new thing these days. Whereas before, you'd have Jurassic Pork shaving Ryan's private. So they're not very clever, but an attempt to be original,
Right, yeah, I always respected that.
These days, it's always Seinfeld, a porn parody.
Yeah,
I can't believe people actually ask for me to ask you, Jim, to sing something, but then make it about me. I would never do that. It's weird how they think I'm going to want to just do something that I don't want.
They could have just called it Scheinfelch, right?
Yeah.
Seinfeld?
The Office parody. That writes itself.
It's right there.
But they just call it Office porn parody. And that's what most of them are these days. No originality. No inventiveness. I'm not surprised that Saw, a hardcore parody, is at $0.00 of its $50,000 goal.
I think... When I think about how pornography has just become solely about the money, it really just, it hurts, Well,
this indie porn is supposed to be about the ideas and the feelings.
Yeah, it's about getting your money before they shoot the cheap porn.
Yeah, this is not going to work at all. HD multicam with Paige Little. $0.00 of the $700 goal. She wants an HD cam. Buy one. Buy one. The trouble is this is a market. They're trying to get funding for amateur products in a market where thousands of people are willingly streaming their own vaginas and penises for free for their own enjoyment.
You can tip them, I guess.
There's all sorts of live cam sites where you tip people. There are user-generated... there are porn alternatives to YouTube, where just normal, ordinary people are doing their own porn for their own amusement and yours as well. And it's usually better because the orgasms are real. Like, it's just, there's something much better about watching real people having sex that they want you to see, and that they love it, and they fucking can't get enough of showing it to you.
Everybody wins in this scenario. Nobody. Well, I mean, you have to assume that. I mean, under the assumption that they're doing it voluntarily and strictly for their own entertainment to have people watching them, then that's just a matter of a whole bunch of consenting adults. It's not someone being paid. There's no duress in terms of having to do this for an income or to satisfy the ever-growing need for methamphetamine that has been welling up in your body since you started this career path. You've got options.
Exactly.
I think it's just you feel better partaking in that, knowing that nobody is getting their life ruined by the thing they're voluntarily doing in their bedroom, unless of course their boss starts watching and they get fired.
Exactly.
Wind up on the street and hooked on meth and doing pornography.
The best porn is where someone thought, I fancy dildoing myself. I've got a camera, why the fuck not? And you don't have to pay, you don't have to back projects for that. I could film Saw, a hardcore parody, using just the camera I'm just idly playing with in my hand right now, my HD camera, that'll look better than the one they used to film that trailer for Saw, a hardcore parody. All I need is this better camera than theirs and Jonathan Holmes.
What? What am I going to do in your...
And I'll give you... You will be Jigsaw.
Oh, come on. I cannot be a villain and a porn man.
You can be everything you set your mind... Well, I set your mind to. Sorry about that, FanFun XXX. I ain't behind you.
Well, not yet, anyway.
Yeah, that gets a thumbs down from me, Jonathan.
What was that person's name? Lady J? And, Sparkles Gray or something? There were those ladies that you liked. Jay something?
Well, no, apparently they haven't actually started letting people submit funding.
Oh, all right.
So maybe there's hope for the...
Your favorite porns, though, Jim? What if your favorite porn pals showed up and were like, only need $50? Then we'll make that cool new Dynasty Warriors porn.
For $50... I want him to look at the camera and wink and say, I like Dynasty Warriors.
That would be cute. It's weird. So many questions came in about things that we already talked about, like Nintendo and the Wii U and losing marketability. And what else did we talk about? So many things. Thank you for asking all those questions that we answered already. And I guess we'll wrap it up. You want to wrap it up, you guys?
Wrap it up?
Oh, subreddit. That's the one I should ask before we go, because I didn't even know this existed. Erich Arugio, known as Erich the Awesome on Twitter, says, how are you guys liking the subreddit? I know it's a bit dead, but I'm working on it. Suggestions? I didn't know. What is that? What is he talking about? There's a subreddit? We should find this out. Everyone listening, please find out what he's talking about and make it good. I assume that there is a thing he made on Reddit that's about something that has to do with this. So if that's true.
There's a subgroup. It's R Podtoy.
R?
Yeah.
R. Huh?
Reddit.com/r/Podtoy.
What's the R stand for?
Random.
Oh, random. All right. I hope that gets filled with stuff that people like.
I hope you get stuff.
Well, the background is a tiled
like.
image of you.
Of who?
With giving a thumbs up.
Who, me?
Big smile, yeah.
Oh, that's not going to do well. I'm not a favorite on Reddit. Every time I do something, someone starts a thread in it, in the cringe section or something. People think that I'm the worst and that I should go away on Reddit. So I don't
we have that in common.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. We're different from what they consider to be good or normal.
That's what we've gone wrong.
I guess
that's our fuck up. We didn't do what they liked us to do. Sorry, we blew it.
And it's weird. Oftentimes people go on Reddit then and stick up for me or just say, oh, he's not that good, but he's not like that bad. It's just kind of which is how I always expect people to react when I do something that isn't for them. I don't expect it to be painful for them. It's just kind of
The Podtoid Facebook group, on the other hand, just goes from strength to strength.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how damaging to my career it is to be a member of it. I didn't ask to be a member of it. That's going to be my excuse when the inevitable happens and someone on it is killed. But that's a fun place. It's actually quite fun. I did a post on the Facebook group the other day. I just wrote Jonathan Holmes. At last count had 168 likes and a giant discussion thread.
What?
Yeah, pretty astounding.
I don't... we did get some questions about pornography as well, and sex.
Of course we did.
From the Podtoid Facebook friends. They're known for wanting particularly to have a sexual relationship with us on some level. That's their interest in the show. Which is...
Why not?
That's very flattering. And the last one, Renee Dewey, who is Riku Suave. What a great name on Twitter.
It's a good name.
Yeah, she's very good. She asks if we're excited for the premiere of the sci-fi original movie Sharknado tomorrow. It's a tornado that's full of sharks. We posted about that on Flixist. We posted it. Yeah. It is.
I normally fucking hate how cynical those films are. But, okay. That's my reaction to that one is okay. I'm not impressed by fucking, winged spider baboon or whatever. Yeah. Just here is an animal, here is another animal, put them together and make a film that manages to turn the premise into something boring. That's usually the problem with those sci-fi originals, is that it's not just that they're crappily made, they're boring with it. But Sharknado, okay, you've got my attention now.
I don't think it is a tornado that happened to pick up a bunch of sharks. It's a tornado that just becomes shark heads sometimes and just whirls. That's how the poster looks. It's pretty incredible. I guess I'll have to watch to find out. And the fact that it got greenlit, that somebody seemed to be making fun of sci-fi original movies and said, how about we do a Sharknado? And then, $2 million later, they did it. That's, I'll get behind that. All right, let's announce what we gonna do and what we did for the end of the show. Do it? Good? Who starts? Let's do it good. I can do it. I'll start.
Yeah, go on.
We're going to have a rerun of Sup Holmes with Michael... I'm afraid I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. Do you know how to pronounce his name, Conrad? It's a tough one. It's Frauenhofer.
It's Frauenhofer.
Frauenhofer. I'm so terrible at pronouncing things. Frauenhofer. He was such a delight, I can't even tell you. Now, I was going on a limb with Michael Frauenhofer. I've played his game, I enjoyed it a lot, but I didn't know a ton about him. His first game, his only game that's been released commercially, it's called Demon Chic. It is only on the iPad at the moment. I had to borrow an iPad to play it. And he was a last-minute fill-in on Sup Holmes. It was just a couple hours before the show's going live that he committed to do it. What a pleasant surprise. We had so much fun talking. What a smart, insightful young man who told his mother, Mother, I want to make a video game about a guy who just got back from a drag party and wants to keep the dress on forever. His boyfriend, who is struggling with his bisexuality, and the boyfriend's brother, who feels like he's just completely wasting his life. They're all probably on drugs, Mother. Probably. Because they're hallucinating a barbershop quartet that is all one dinosaur with 5 heads, all wearing the barbershop quartet hats. And it's a turn-based RPG, too. Did I mention that, Mother? Where you spell ice, and then an ice spell attacks a man standing on top of a piano before the demon police show up to talk to the melting snowmen that are in the kitchen, Mom. What do you think? A game? And she was like, yes. Yes, son. Let's make that game. Let's spend 2 years on that game, my 23-year-old son who just got out of college. Why don't you do that instead of having a job? And they did. This is a real game you can buy.
Well done,
Demon
man.
Sheik. Yeah, I'm so proud of him for doing it. And they're working on their next game, which is a severely depressing, like it's narrative focused, but no matter what happens, it's bad. So you're like, do I let the little boy live or do I kill him? And if you let him live, he still dies, and it's even more your fault. Or you can kill him. That's just a example scenario. I don't think that's actually in the game. The gameplay is all rhythm action. So you're like dancing to the terrible times. Can't wait for that game to come out. Yes, people need to pay attention to Michael Fraunhofer and Demon Sheik game. He was on Sup Holmes. I was very happy with it. That rerun is going to be up soon on iTunes. Sup Holmes on iTunes and also Detoid TV video, and I'll post it on Destructoid. So that was last Sunday. This Sunday we have Jules Watcham returning to the show for this year. We haven't had him on in a while. I don't think this year at all, actually. He's got a lot to talk about. He's got a new game coming out on the 3DS called Treasure Knots. He has another game coming out on the 3DS called Cult County, which is a first-person horror game. He's going to reclaim the rights to Moon, his cult favorite DS. Some people say Moon is a better Metroid than Metroid was. He's finally going to reclaim the rights to that next year, which is exciting. So there's a lot for him to talk about. I very, very much look forward to having him on this Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch TV and on Destructoid. Also, this Sunday is the season finale already of Season 2 of Teenage Pokemon. I have to edit that together tomorrow. It's an extra length episode. I'm already feeling like I screwed up and it's terrible, but I always feel that way. So who knows? Hopefully it's not that bad. The animation is I watch it with the sound off and just laugh at what it looks like because it looks hilarious. And you're in it, Jim. You have a nice long scene at the end, which I'm touched by. The animation just finished on that, and it looks beautiful. Season 2 closer of Teenage Pokemon, I think I'm going to call it Battles versus Dates. Yeah, I'll just decide to call it that. And it's going to be on Machinima this Sunday. I don't know what time, though. They don't tell me. Last episode that went up was about bronies. That got a very good response. A lot of bronies and people with Asperger's, actually, made a point to say that they really were not offended by it and enjoyed it a lot. And that means a lot to me. I'd rather appease bronies and people that happen to have Asperger's than just about anyone else. So thank you for watching that, you guys. I think that's it for me. How about you, dudes? What you doing?
Let's see. We're going to do an office chat this week. We'll talk about a few different things on that. I know we wanted to discuss the Grand Theft Auto video, and we're going to be giving some discussion on Microsoft's continuing bungling of their message. So you'll be able to watch that. And let's see here. What else? That's pretty much it. We're trying to get some video reviews together and get that going a little more present. So if you're not subscribed to youtube.com/detoid, you should go subscribe to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and this weekend on Saturday Morning Hangover, we'll play something. I don't know. But that's... yeah. It's too early in the morning
It's okay.
to care.
Sure.
You know, like on Saturday, what we play, I think it's really just more of an opportunity to take advantage of the fact that, like, mine and Jordan's defenses are down because we're not fully conscious.
People enjoy waking up and spending the time with you guys, just relaxing with the sound of human being friend. That is a good sound.
And my wife just not getting it a lot of the time. I think they're into that. I think that's very funny.
It is. I don't think anyone would want you to change a thing about the show.
So, yeah, that's Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific at detoid.tv. You can tune into that. What about you, Jim?
So many things. Over at escapistmagazine.com, new Jimquisition is up. It is called Gamer Guys, and it is a little satirical this week. It is more satirical than usual. Gamer Guys, the title is kind of self-explanatory. I thought the episode would be self-explanatory, but a lot of people didn't get it, which surprised me. Then again, a lot of people did get it and enjoyed it. And Jonathan Holmes is featured in it without his knowing.
A lot. He's in there a lot.
Yeah, very surprising.
Quite a bit. Justin McElroy and Kevin Van Ord from Polygon and GameSpot, I was right the first time, are also featured in it, and I apologise to all three of you for getting Twitter bombarded by people telling them they're in it when, they only needed telling the once. But that was fun. Also, Jim and Yahtzee's Rhyme Down Spectacular is out. It's called Confessions of a Game Reviewer. Yahtzee did a poem about about first-person shooters. I did a poem about confessing things as a video game reviewer. Also, you can check out my Movie Defense Force show, which is the last one to come out was Transformers, the Michael Bay Transformers. Over on Destructoid.com, I have a feature, an editorial called How to Avoid Being Sad About Kickstarter, which is exactly that, following on from the Double Fine thing. It explains things to watch out for and just basic common sense approaches to funding things on Kickstarter. You can also check out my video series, Super Best Guide. This week's Super Best Guide was for BioShock Infinite. You can find that in the notable featured videos section on Destructo.com, or you can go to the Detoid YouTube channel and see it there, along with other good things. That is about all I have to talk about as far as that goes. Also, I am still writing my book. I'm actually been a bit more comfortable talking about that a bit more publicly. And actually did a synopsis of it on my Facebook page. If you're interested, it's a post-apocalyptic thing about things. And
what's the title?
Working title is Sanity Executable.
Oh, wow.
So that's a thing I'm working on a bit more and more as time goes by. Will I ever finish it? Who knows? But like I said, I'm comfortable giving bits and bobs of public details about it now, so that's a good sign, I think. Other than that, there's fuck all left to discuss, so we're gonna stop doing this piece of shit now. Bye.
Yay!
So over the shit.
Fuck this shit.
It's not that hard. We just show up and whatever we want, then they just listen to it, I guess.
I thought this was a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was quite good, actually.